What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is Monday. Honestly, a little later than usual, but it's 1:50. But today I had a whole assortment of different units, different workloads, and I honestly was dreading today. I mean, it really was. I'm not the one to first be like, on Sundays to be all like mad and upset about, Monday work. I'm not really like that. I don't like let it be, I don't let it affect me, because what's the point of having Sundays off when you're just groaning about Mondays? I mean, of course, when it's like late on Sundays, I'm gonna be like, I was in bed early, I can't really, do as much as I want to, like I would on Saturdays. So that's obviously clear, but I don't choose to be in an upset mood or let that impact me and then impact others. Because first and foremost, if it doesn't, I think it's only a problem when it affects other people, because you can be thinking whatever you want. Anyone can be thinking anything they want, but it's only until that starts bending out, starts spewing out, and then it's like, okay, so you're upset about what, right? And sometimes it's obvious and it's not, but it's like, that one person, like, if they do this or if this happens to them, it's like, oh, look, you're gonna get mad already, like, watch out for that. They're gonna be upset because this wasn't ready, or whatever, or you're having a bad time. It's like, only until they make it a problem for you is that when they're, aka when they're upset, and then they give you that energy as well. It's when it's effective, it's impactful for other people. But you can, I don't know the right word, but you can morph it into something else in your head. It doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be if it hits you with the energy, you don't have to spread it to someone else. You can choose to, realize what matters, what prioritizes you, who matters to you, and go from there. You don't have to. I can't imagine me getting mad about my job. I say I can't imagine, but I lived through it. And I've been through a job where it was really, bad, shitty, and I didn't let it affect me. I got home, and I wiped my hands clean, so to speak. That was that, and now this is this. And I didn't let that affect me when I go home, because I don't want my loved ones, my kids to feel that way. Dad's saying later at work, he's gonna come back mad, we better be, have everything ready. It's like, no, not like that. It's like, of course, there's, standards that I expect, and that goes for anybody, to clean, wherever, but it's not like I'm gonna, come home mad and then take it on somebody else that is not even affected by that. That doesn't make any sense to me. That never made any sense to me whatsoever. You come home, or whatever you're doing, you're upset about it. There's no reason why you gotta, not necessarily you, but to a person, like, even if, no matter what they're upset about, if they're not, they should only be upset about that problem. Now, I understand things like grieving, upset's a big term, but I'm talking about being mad, being fussy, all that, whatever. It's like, it's understandable if you're, lost a loved one, lost a pet, lost your phone, stuff like that. Obviously you're not gonna vent somebody, but again, there's no excuse to, no matter how happy or upset you are, to tell someone to F off or be rude to them, right? Like, if they don't know anything, it's like, if they know to leave you alone, you tell them to leave you alone. If they don't know, they don't know what's going on, it's like, I don't feel like talking right now, right? You can say that. It doesn't mean you have to be happy towards them. It doesn't mean you have to match the same energy, but it doesn't mean that you get to treat people like crap and then, expect everything to be fine, because people aren't going to remember why you were upset exactly. They'll probably think if it's that bad, they will. But, what they're going to remember is what you said. People will remember what you say to them, no matter what. You tell them, hey, or you say, hey, what's up, man, or whatever, like, how you doing? And then, you say something, and then point being, it gets to a point that person snaps on you, and they say, oh, man, fuck, after this, I don't even like, you or whatever, or I don't even like doing this with you or whatever. It's like, I was only friendly, stuff like that. Stuff that, you don't really say it. That nobody would say it, and then nobody would say it in a rude manner as well. But anyways, that's the case, people are going to remember what you say. So that's the case that's what I would take with you here. It's like, no matter what, you're gonna remember what was told to you with someone snapping at you. You're like, things might be good, but you're still gonna remember. You might forget, but you're not gonna forget. Like, you're gonna remember what they said to you, and that's gonna stick with you. That's gonna stick with you no matter what. I don't care who you are. Your mama calls you fat. It's like, it's gonna stick to you because it hurt. It's gonna dent you a little bit, So that's where you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out where, as a person, if you're the one upset, it's like, okay, I'm not upset at this person. I'm not upset at this person. I'm upset about this situation. Okay, and the only ones that are involved are, this and this other party that is not here right now. So it's like, you can take that with you and speak it in a way where you say, like, this is what happened to me, it sucks. I mean, it's up to people that tell you what you tell them. It's up to them what they want to pick up on and match you with. And you're like, oh, it sucks, But again, it's like, this world is all about gives and takes. It's all a transaction. Every single conversation is a transaction. If I'm asking my team leader, hey, I need this, I am requesting something from him, all right? And that is his job. As if someone were to ask me to do something about my job, or go over here and fix this, it's all still a transaction. It's still something. It's not necessarily a negative, but it's all something that has to, people have to interact with each other, a system, right? So when you talk to your best friend, it can be a positive. It doesn't have to be an opposite thing where one's negative, one positive. But if you're talking about something that you want to talk about, and then they switch the conversation, it's like, okay, well, now you feel like it's a negative. But anyways, the point is, a lot of things are transactions, and everything you say can hurt people, and it will stick to people. So watch your words. I went on a whole rant there, but yeah, it was on my mind. Like, you gotta be careful with what you say, because yeah. And I've dealt with a lot of shit that other people have dealt with. Anyone has dealt with any shit, and there's no excuse whatsoever to be in any upset matter to anybody else beyond what is reasonable. And what is reasonable is you being upset and you don't want to talk to anybody because you feel like you're gonna explode. There is a way to say that. It doesn't mean just because you're upset and nobody knows that you get to act like a dick when someone asks you what happened. So again, there's ways to communicate on that level. So don't take anything for anybody just because they feel like it's reasonable to be upset, and they're gonna be upset at you, even if it is your fault. And I'm talking about low stuff. I'm not talking about like hitting someone's car or something like that, or hurting somebody. It's like, that's different. That's obviously different. That there's it's natural to be mad at somebody for that, obviously, but there's certain other things that can be said. And even beyond that point, someone that wants to reach a conclusion, or that ultimately wants to reach a conclusion, which is someone that might be even the most stoic person in the world, they can communicate in a way to no matter what problem they're dealing with, to the person that's causing the problem, and figure it out. Now, obviously, it's a cooperation of the other person as well, but my point of that was, to no matter what degree, you can still have a conversation over it. But of course, there are things that are more reasonable than others. What's not reasonable is something that you wouldn't say yourself to another person. Or if that person gets to treat you a certain way, but you don't get to treat them back. That's the only way you can even things out, is, okay, well, they can do this to me, they can say this to me, can I say that back to them? And it's like, not, then okay. There is a transaction going on, the whole time, and it has to be positive for this person, or I lose them. And if they can't treat you equally, then they're not worth your time. That is ultimately what's going to happen, is they're going to treat you a certain way, and you're not going to be respected no matter what. Now, you can demand respect, and if they don't want to, then okay, they'll cut you off. You cut them off, I should say. just don't let negative people be part of your life that doesn't need to be there at all. There's billions of people on this earth. There's billions of people on this earth. If you find you losing every single friend, then okay, get a new set of friends. And if you feel like no matter who you talk to, nobody wants to be your friend, then maybe you gotta do some self-reflection, because someone has to be your friend. Not your deep friend, but there are people that are friends. Now, there was also socioeconomic problems and a multitude of waves upon waves, layers and layers upon all that as well. So I'm doing a very big simplification on that. So don't take my words too seriously, because it's not that serious, to be honest. It's not like, it doesn't have to be that serious, but it doesn't have to be that complicated either. So there's my 2 cents. But yeah, today was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, better than I thought, because like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, I was worried that I was going to be here all day, because as I mentioned before in my other video, I switched to sealing instead of trimming the units, which is what I do in my job. So that I'm newer to that, and it takes me a little longer knowing the ropes and stuff and how to do that. So that was worrying to me, because I just started last week, so that was my biggest issue. But nope, I figured it out. It's somewhat easy. Now I'm getting back to a normal time where I'm finishing quicker. So not as bad as I thought, and I'm glad I'm in that mindset now. Because last week was pretty rough, and yeah, I didn't like it. But I'm glad today went well, and it's given me a positive outlook on future units and all that jazz. That's life. I have new assignments this week. I've finally been hitting Python a lot more now, like I wanted to. I'm back on it now. I'm like fresh in it. The biggest thing was I just didn't want to run. I didn't want to take the first step, but I took the big step this last weekend, and now I'm back in the groove. So I'm like, okay, it's fresh in my head. I just gotta keep going, because once I keep doing it, it snowballs in my head, and then I'm like, okay, we're good. So I'm feeling good about that. But yeah, that was all I had to say. I'll let you guys go, so you can get back to your busy lives, like we all are. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.